What if the key to controlling that stubborn belly fat that seems to arrive after 60 wasn't in a high-tech lab or an expensive prescription, but was already sitting in your pantry? What if one simple spoonful of an old-fashioned favorite, taken before bed, could flip a powerful metabolic switch in your body? Stay with me, because a story I need to share might just change how you see your health forever.
Patricia had always found her identity in the soil. Her garden wasn't just a hobby, it was a living chronicle of her life, a place where she cultivated not just roses and tomatoes, but memories. She could remember planting the climbing rose bush the year her son graduated, the sturdy oak sapling when her first grandchild was born. Her hands, though weathered, knew the language of the earth. But one Tuesday afternoon in late May, the language became harder to speak. It wasn't a sharp pain that stopped her. It was a feeling of blockage, a thick, unyielding pressure around her middle that made bending forward a chore, a negotiation. She straightened up, slowly, placing a hand on her lower back, and looked at the half-weeded flower bed. For the first time, her garden felt big, too big. This was the first time she truly felt the emotional weight of the stubborn belly fat that had gathered over the past decade. It was no longer just a number on a scale or a snug pair of jeans. It was a thief, quietly stealing the things she loved. Patricia was 68. She wasn't a woman defined by vanities. She was a retired school librarian from Ohio, a woman whose pride came from the strength in her hands, the endurance in her legs, and the unwavering rhythm of her life with her husband, David. They had a weekly date, every Friday night for 45 years, to a little dance hall downtown. She wasn't a world-class dancer, but she loved the simple joy of being led by David, of feeling light on her feet. But lately, that lightness was gone. The extra weight she carried, specifically that deep, visceral fat, made her feel heavy, self-conscious. It wasn't just about the dancing. It was the exhaustion that settled in her bones far too early in the day. The restless, broken sleep that left her feeling foggy and defeated before her feet even hit the floor in the morning. The woman in the photograph felt like a stranger. The theft was happening in small, daily increments, each one a quiet little heartbreak. There was the afternoon her grandson, Leo, begged her to get on the floor and see his spaceship. She managed to get down, but the effort to get back up was a clumsy, undignified struggle that left her breathless and Leo looking on with innocent confusion. There was the evening David put on their song in the kitchen, extending a hand for a spontaneous dance. She declined, making an excuse about the dishes. But the real reason was a familiar wave of frustration. She didn't want him to feel the thick band of firmness around her waist. And there was the blue dress, the one she'd worn to their anniversary dinner 5 years ago. It hung in the closet like a ghost of the woman she used to be. Every few months she'd take it out, a silent promise to herself. And every time, she'd hang it back up, the quiet sigh of defeat echoing in the stillness of the room. Her low point came not in a moment of drama, but in the dead of night. It was 3 a.m., a time that had become her unwelcome companion. She was wide awake, staring at the ceiling, her mind racing. It wasn't just the discomfort, it was a deeper, more chilling anxiety. David was sleeping peacefully beside her, his breathing slow and steady. And in that profound silence, a single, devastating thought surfaced, clear as a bell. If I can't even trust my own body to carry me through the day, how can David trust it to carry me into our future? It was a fear of dependency, a terror of becoming a burden instead of a partner. Despair is a heavy blanket, but sometimes, all it takes is a tiny pinprick of light to tear it open. For Patricia, that light came a few days later, in the form of a stubborn, resilient dandelion. She was sitting on her porch, staring blankly at the lawn, when she saw it, pushing its way up through a crack in the concrete walkway. Ignored, unwanted, yet utterly determined to grow. She watched it for a long time. Something about its simple, defiant existence sparked a forgotten fire within her. It wasn't going to give up, and neither would she. She thought to herself, the problem feels big, but maybe the answer starts small. That tiny shift in perspective changed everything. She wouldn't focus on the blue dress or the entire garden. She would focus on reclaiming one small thing at a time. This wasn't about a miracle cure. It was about a series of small, intentional victories. It started with a decision to understand why her body felt this way at night, leading her down a path of research and discovery. And it led her to a simple, almost laughably simple, nightly habit. A few weeks later, Leo's Lego spaceship needed a co-pilot again. This time, when Patricia got down on the floor, the movement was easier, more fluid. The joy on her face was real, unburdened. That Friday, when David put on their song, she took his hand. It wasn't a whirlwind dance, but it was a dance of connection, of shared joy, free from the shadow of self-consciousness. And one sunny morning, she found herself kneeling in her garden, a soft pad under her knees, and she pulled weed after weed, not with a sense of dread, but with a familiar, forgotten sense of satisfaction. The garden no longer felt too big. It felt like home again. She hadn't magically lost 30 pounds. She had simply reclaimed her energy, her sleep, and her confidence. She had reclaimed the small, precious moments that make up a life. Patricia's story isn't about a magic pill. It's a testament to the fact that our bodies have incredible natural systems in place, waiting to be understood and activated. Her journey from that desperate 3 a.m. wake-up call to dancing in the kitchen again began with understanding a few powerful, overlooked truths about how our bodies, especially as we mature, handle energy and fat, particularly at night.
Now you might be thinking, I've tried everything. I've cut calories, I've walked miles, I've sworn off carbs after 6 p.m. And I hear you. We've been told for decades that the formula is simple: eat less, move more. But what if that formula is missing a critical variable, especially for those of us over 60? What if one of the biggest battles for belly fat is actually fought while we sleep? The common advice often fails because it overlooks the profound hormonal shifts that happen in our bodies as we age. It ignores the nightly saboteur that can undo all our good daytime efforts. Today we're going to pull back the curtain on this. We will journey through 5 increasingly surprising insights. We'll start with some common mistakes many of us make without realizing it. Then we'll uncover an essential habit for nighttime repair. We'll dive into a key strategy to harness the power of sleep. And I'll share a crucial secret about what your body does when you go to bed on an empty stomach. And you must, and I mean you absolutely must, stay for our final insight. I'm calling it the game-changing revelation number 1. It is a stunning discovery about how a common food can mimic the effects of one of the most talked about weight loss drugs on the market, but in a gentle, natural way. It's the piece of the puzzle that brought everything together for Patricia, and it could for you too. So if you're ready to look at your health in a new light, hit that subscribe button and join our community of seniors who are choosing to thrive. And just a quick important reminder, all the information shared today is for educational purposes. Everyone's health situation is unique, so please consult your doctor or healthcare provider before making any significant changes to your diet or health regimen. Let's use this knowledge to have informed discussions with them. All right, are you ready? Let's begin with our first insight, something that might be quietly sabotaging your efforts right now. Insight number 5, avoiding the 3 midnight mistakes. Let's start with a foundational truth. Even the most powerful tool can be useless or even counterproductive if used incorrectly. This is especially true for our nightly spoonful. So our first insight isn't a magic bullet, but a crucial course correction. Avoiding the 3 most common mistakes people make with peanut butter at night. The problem is that in our desire for a quick fix, we can accidentally cancel out the benefits before we even begin. It's the classic case of 1 step forward, 2 steps back, especially when it comes to late-night snacking. We're told a little might be good, so our brain thinks, well, a little more must be better. But the opposite is often true. Think of it like this. Your metabolism at night is not a roaring bonfire. It's more like a bed of glowing embers. It's designed for slow, steady energy release and repair, not for processing a huge log of wood you just threw on top of it. Therefore, overloading it or giving it the wrong kind of fuel can smother the embers completely. So let's break down these mistakes. The first and most common is the portion trap. Eating straight from the jar feels like a harmless indulgence, doesn't it? But a serving size of peanut butter is typically 2 tablespoons, which is around 190 calories. When you're dipping that spoon in 3 or 4 times, you can easily consume 400 or 500 calories without even thinking about it. This is like trying to fill a thimble with a fire hose. You're not just giving your body the gentle signal it needs, you're giving it a full-blown meal to digest when it should be focused on rest and repair. The solution is simple but non-negotiable. Measure it. 1 single level tablespoon, that's the goal. The second mistake is the sugar sabotage. Not all peanut butter is created equal. Many popular brands are loaded with added sugars and hydrogenated oils to make them sweeter and prevent separation. When you eat these before bed, you're sending your blood sugar on a roller coaster. It spikes, and then it crashes a few hours later, which can wake you up and trigger the release of cortisol, the very stress hormone we were trying to calm down. So the rule is to become a label detective. Look for natural peanut butter. The ingredient list should be beautifully simple. Peanuts and maybe a little salt. That's it. And the third mistake is the pairing problem. What do we often pair peanut butter with? Bread, crackers, a glass of milk, maybe a banana. During the day, these can be fine, but at night, pairing the healthy fat and protein of peanut butter with a load of simple carbohydrates is like tying an anchor to a life raft. The carbs cause a rapid insulin spike, which signals your body to go into storage mode, not burning mode. It completely negates the steadying effect we're aiming for. Remember, we want to keep those metabolic embers glowing steadily, not douse them with a flood of sugar. The spoon is meant to be a solo act at bedtime. Avoiding these 3 mistakes is the essential first step. It ensures the foundation is strong for the powerful benefits we're about to unlock. Now that we know what not to do, let's explore the first amazing thing that happens when you get it right. Essential habit number 4, the nightly repair crew. Have you ever wondered what your body is actually doing for the 8 hours you're asleep? We think of it as a time of inactivity, but it's actually when some of the most important work gets done. It's when the nightly repair crew comes on duty. And our next essential habit is all about giving that crew the best possible tools for the job. The conflict here is that as we age, the natural process of wear and tear, it accelerates. Cellular damage accumulates, and the body's ability to efficiently repair itself can slow down. This is why we feel stiffer in the morning, or why recovery from physical exertion takes a little longer than it used to. We often just accept this as a part of getting older. But what if we could support this nightly repair process on a molecular level? This is where a fascinating amino acid found in peanuts, called arginine, comes into play. To truly grasp how this works, let's use an analogy. Imagine your circulatory system is like a vast network of highways and roads. During the day, with all the stress and activity, you get traffic jams, potholes, and general wear and tear on the roads. At night, the repair crews are supposed to come out and fix everything, repaving surfaces and clearing blockages so traffic can flow smoothly the next day. Arginine is like the foreman of that crew. You see, your body uses arginine to produce a crucial molecule called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a vasodilator, which is a fancy way of saying it tells your blood vessels to relax and widen. When your blood vessels are relaxed, blood flows more freely. This means more oxygen and more nutrients can be delivered to every single cell in your body, from your brain to your muscles to your skin. Therefore, that small spoonful of peanut butter before bed provides a gentle supply of arginine, which in turn helps boost nitric oxide production while you sleep. This enhanced circulation allows your body's repair crew to work more efficiently, healing micro tears in your muscles, reducing inflammation, and carrying away cellular waste. Health experts often highlight that this process is vital for cardiovascular health and overall recovery. A study mentioned by the Peanut Institute highlights arginine's role as a precursor to nitric oxide, which helps expand blood vessels. This isn't about building massive muscles. It's about waking up feeling less creaky, more refreshed, and knowing that you've given your body the raw materials it needs to truly restore itself overnight. This is a powerful benefit on its own, but it works hand in glove with our next strategy, which tackles one of the biggest enemies of senior health, a bad night's sleep. Key strategy number 3, calming the cortisol storm. Let's be honest, how many of you listening right now would give anything for a truly deep, uninterrupted 8-hour sleep? For many of us over 60, that feels like a distant memory. We toss, we turn, we wake up at 2 a.m. with our minds racing. This isn't just frustrating, it's a metabolic disaster. The problem is that poor sleep creates a vicious cycle. When we don't sleep well, our bodies perceive it as a stressor. And what does the body do when it's stressed? It pumps out the stress hormone, cortisol. High cortisol levels at night are the enemy of fat loss. They signal to your body to store fat, particularly in the belly area, and they can break down muscle tissue. It's a hormonal storm that actively works against your health goals. But what if we could preemptively calm that storm? What if we could send a gentle, all-natural signal to the brain that says, it's okay, you can relax, you can rest now? This brings us to our key strategy, which leverages another incredible amino acid in peanut butter, tryptophan. Yes, the same one famous for making you sleepy after a big turkey dinner. Let's use a simple metaphor. Imagine your brain has a light switch for sleep. During the day, the switch is on, and the room is bright with alertness chemicals. To fall asleep, you need to gently dim and then turn off that switch. Tryptophan is like the hand that reaches for the dimmer. Here's how it works. Your body can't make tryptophan on its own. It must get it from food. When you consume tryptophan from a source like peanut butter, your brain uses it as a building block to create serotonin. Serotonin is often called the feel-good hormone. It promotes feelings of calm and well-being. Then, as darkness falls, the brain converts that calming serotonin into melatonin, the hormone that directly regulates your sleep-wake cycle. Melatonin is what finally flips the switch to off. Therefore, a single spoonful of peanut butter about an hour before bed can provide your body with the raw materials needed to produce this natural cascade of sleep-inducing hormones. This isn't like taking a sleeping pill that knocks you out artificially. It's about supporting your body's own innate, God-given ability to power down. As a result, you fall asleep more easily and stay asleep more soundly. And when you get that deep, restorative sleep, your cortisol levels naturally decline overnight, just as they're supposed to. The cortisol storm subsides. This allows your body to shift out of stress and store mode and into rest and burn mode. It's a foundational secret to unlocking your body's fat-burning potential, and it leads us directly to the next piece of the puzzle. Crucial secret number 2. Why an empty stomach is your enemy. Now, this next secret might go against everything you've ever heard about dieting. For years, we've been told, don't eat before bed, you'll gain weight. We've been conditioned to believe that going to bed on an empty, rumbling stomach is a sign of virtue, a badge of honor in the war against weight gain. The conflict is that this piece of common wisdom is not only outdated. For many seniors, it's dangerously counterproductive. Here's the crucial secret. For your body, an empty stomach heading into a long overnight fast can be perceived as a low-grade emergency. Your body is incredibly smart, geared for survival. When it senses a potential fuel shortage, which is what an empty stomach signals, it doesn't calmly start burning your fat reserves. Instead, it panics. It thinks, I don't know when I'll get fuel again, so I need to conserve energy and prepare for a crisis. And what's its favorite crisis management tool? You guessed it, cortisol. An empty stomach can trigger a spike in cortisol levels right when they should be at their lowest. This nighttime cortisol spike does 3 terrible things. It disrupts your sleep architecture, preventing you from getting that deep restorative rest. It tells your body to hold on to its most precious energy reserve, which is belly fat, and it can even start breaking down muscle tissue for emergency fuel, which slows down your metabolism over time. But we can outsmart this ancient survival mechanism. We can prevent the panic signal before it even starts. Think of your body's blood sugar as the water level in a canal. To keep the boats moving smoothly through the night, you need a steady, stable water level. If the level drops too low, an empty stomach, alarm bells go off, the canal locks slam shut, cortisol spike, and all traffic stops. The spoonful of peanut butter is like opening a tiny, controlled sluice gate that trickles just enough water into the canal all night long to keep the level perfectly stable. The combination of protein and healthy fats in peanut butter is digested very slowly. Therefore, it provides a very slow, steady release of energy throughout the night, keeping your blood sugar stable. This stability sends a powerful message of safety to your brain. It says, there is no famine, there is no crisis, all is well. This signal of safety prevents that middle-of-the-night cortisol spike. It keeps your body in a calm, fat-burning, muscle-repairing state all night long. Many wellness professionals agree that this blood sugar stability is a key yet often overlooked component of metabolic health in mature adults. You're not just preventing a negative, you're actively creating the perfect hormonal environment for positive change while you sleep. And this leads us to the final, most exciting piece of the puzzle, the one you've been waiting for. Game-changing revelation number 1. The natural Ozempic effect. All right, we've arrived at our final and most powerful revelation. We've talked about avoiding mistakes, repairing the body, and calming stress hormones. But what if there was a way to naturally, gently, and safely influence the very hormone that controls hunger and satiety? The billion-dollar wellness industry is currently dominated by drugs like Ozempic, which work by mimicking a hormone called GLP-1. The problem is, these drugs can come with a hefty price tag and a long list of potential side effects. The central challenge for so many of us is feeling like we're constantly fighting against our own appetite. We feel like our off switch for hunger is broken. But what if your body already has the ability to produce its own powerful version of this hormone? What if a simple food could act as the key to turn that system back on? Let's use one final analogy. Imagine your digestive system is a train traveling from your stomach to your intestines. When you eat a meal high in simple carbs and sugar, it's like an express bullet train. It races through your system so quickly that the station manager at the end, your brain, barely has time to register that a delivery has been made. So, shortly after the train has passed, the manager is on the radio saying, "We're empty, send another train," and you feel hungry again. The healthy fats and protein in peanut butter work differently. They stimulate the release of GLP-1, a hormone that essentially acts as a natural brake on that train. It slows down the process of gastric emptying, meaning the train moves through your system at a slow, steady, and leisurely pace. Therefore, the food stays in your system longer, breaking down slowly and releasing its nutrients gradually. This slow journey gives the station manager, your brain, plenty of time to get the message. We are full, we are satisfied, we do not need another delivery for a long, long time. This is the natural GLP-1 effect. It's your body's own satiety switch, and research suggests that foods rich in healthy fats, protein, and fiber are excellent at activating it. When you have that one spoonful of peanut butter before bed, you're not just stabilizing your blood sugar for the night. You are preemptively flipping your satiety switch to on. This means you wake up feeling balanced, not ravenous. You start the next day in a state of control, not craving. This single habit can ripple through your entire next day, empowering you to make better food choices, reducing cravings for sugar and snacks, and breaking the cycle of hunger and fatigue. This is the true power we've been building towards, using a simple, natural tool to work with your body's sophisticated hormonal systems, not against them. And there you have it. The secret isn't that peanut butter is a magic food that melts away fat. The game-changing revelation number one is that it can act as a key that unlocks your body's own powerful systems for controlling hunger, reducing stress, promoting deep sleep, and repairing itself from the inside out. So let's quickly recap the incredible journey we've been on. We started by learning to avoid the common midnight mistakes of portion, sugar, and pairings. We then unlocked the power of the essential habit for nighttime repair through arginine and nitric oxide. We discovered the key strategy for calming the cortisol storm with tryptophan to improve our sleep. We learned the crucial secret of why an empty stomach is our enemy and how a stable blood sugar level is our best friend. And we finished with our game-changing revelation, understanding how this simple habit can stimulate GLP-1 for natural appetite control. Each one of these insights is a stepping stone, building on the last, creating a powerful synergy for a healthier, more vibrant you. Now, I would love to hear from you. Which of these insights resonated with you the most? Was it the idea of calming cortisol, or were you surprised by the natural GLP-1 effect? Let me know which one you're thinking of trying first by sharing your thoughts in the comments below. It's a wonderful way for us to learn from each other. If you found this journey valuable, please give this video a thumbs up. It truly helps others in our community find this information. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and hit that notification bell for more powerful health secrets tailored for us, the vibrant and thriving senior community. Until next time, stay healthy, stay curious, and know that you have incredible power to influence your own well-being.